Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, January 28th. So today we have the moon in Taurus energy all day. Of course, we are building towards our first quarter moon in Taurus energy at 10:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the moon will square off with the sun, who of course is in Aquarian energy. The intensity that we feel building towards a particular moon phase is definitely pressurized. We're definitely feeling that energy build within us, and it is essentially a crisis point for us. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that it's time to make a choice, time to make a decision, time to pull a trigger on a path, on an idea, on a project, on a goal, on a dream, on a vision. And although we are suspended in time for the most part, you can figure out what that means if you join me in the ascension forecast for next week. We are kind of paused out. Yes, we're in an accelerated timeline. Yes, we're in an accelerated manifestation state, but we've been put on pause since about late Wednesday and won't clear up until about late Sunday. And of course, this first quarter moon in Taurus energy is trying to bring us back into our physical bodies, ground us out, give us a chance to realign our mind, our body, our soul, which of course will be taking place as we contemplate where it is that we want to go from here. So there are 12 different aspects here today. 10 of them involve the moon. The moon is going to be making a very awkward interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, who is in Aries energy, definitely adding to the intensity, the impulsivity of wanting to take action, wanting to go out in the world, make things happen, wanting to see a huge amount of growth in a short amount of time. And the moon in Taurus is not having it. We cannot be jumping into things willy-nilly. We need to slow our rolls down. We need to focus on the happiness, the joy in this present moment instead of projecting ourselves into the future. And we need to find a brand new grounded point of stability before we go off and start jumping into new things. The moon is going to make a harmonious aspect with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who of course is in Aquarius energy. This is a good vibe because Saturn is helping us to see what kind of plans we need to make, what kind of foundation is needed in order to bring some of our dreams and our visions to life. That Aquarian energy is just pushing the boundaries on what it is that we think is possible and having our, I'm going to say, mental plane totally consumed with the ifs, ands, and buts, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the where do I want to go from here, is a beautiful energy for us to channel into our physical form in this Taurus energy that will help us ground things out, really put things into perspective for us, really help us sort through what makes us happy, what brings us a sense of joy, what brings us a sense of pleasure, because that's what we need to be building towards. Like I mentioned, 10:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon squares the sun. This is what gives us our first quarter moon. Of course, the moon is in Taurus energy. The sun is in Aquarius. The moon highlights the past, highlights our emotions, our unconscious self. And in this Taurus energy, we're just focused on the here and now. We're focused on stability, safety, security, finding happiness and joy in our current circumstances, while the sun over here, of course, is shining a bright light on all that is to come, where it is that we want to be, where it is that we want to go, the possibilities of the future. And that doesn't feel so good for wanting to stay kind of present in the here and now. So there is this conflict, but this tension point is needed in order for us to see what we actually want to pursue. What do we actually want to bring to life? What it is that we're actually being called to take action upon, the direction, the path, the dream, the vision, the choice point that will essentially launch us forward. The moon is going to semi-square Neptune, who is in Pisces energy. This isn't going to feel so good. This is like, we're not really wanting to deal with real life right now. We just kind of want to curl up in a ball and let this particular energy pass. Normally, the Pisces and Taurus energy is really good for, aligning with our higher self, for grasping a dream and a vision and being able to bring it into our physical bodies and really ground that out, make sense of it all. But right now we're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And a lot of that overwhelmedness is coming because, again, our energy and soul body has taken off in an accelerated rate. And our physical body is kind of low and slow, hasn't really picked up speed yet. Emotionally speaking, we would rather stick to the here and now. We don't really want to look back. We don't really want to look forward. We just want to find some peace right now. And of course, Neptune is all about the future. all about recognizing where our dreams and our inspirations are trying to take us, and we're not feeling so good about projecting ourselves that far into the future as of right yet. The moon conjuncts, sits next to, bumps into the true node, who of course is in this Taurus energy as well, which means that the moon is sitting across from the south node in Scorpio energy. So this is like a very pivotal point of realizing where it is that we're still blocked, where it is that we're still being challenged, of having to let go of certain topics, themes, pain, trauma, relationships, elements of our old lives, in order for us to give birth and create something new, which of course the North Node in Taurus is trying to do for us. We are wanting to move forward. We are recognizing where there has been a huge amount of healing, a huge amount of growth, but in the same token, we're also very stuck. This is a fixed sign. Taurus and Scorpio energies are fixed signs, and we're very fixated on trying to keep things as similar to now as possible, which is a little bit of a cluster F, because many of us hoping and praying for change, yet not realizing that we're the ones holding up this particular transformational process. The sun is going to semi-square Neptune. This is not a good vibe. Okay, so the reason why is because it brings a lot of uncertainty, a lot of delusion. This can be very foggy, very disorienting, very discombobulating. We are definitely sitting on the fence. We have a lot of restlessness, a lot of indecision. We are feeling very low on confidence, very low on our willpower, and we have no clue what our goals are, what they should be, what our focus is, what it should be. Again, we are under this, I'm going to say, first quarter moon influence, where we're being encouraged to make a decision. We're being encouraged to pull the trigger on something. We're being encouraged to initiate a new path. And then the sun and Neptune get together and make everything so freaking foggy that we don't know if we're coming or going. One thing that will definitely be hit home is a need for a time out, for downtime. We need to give our physical body, our mind, our emotions, our soul some downtime in order for the realignment to take place. So throw yourself into a good book, throw yourself into a movie, anything that is imaginative, that is fantasy-led, throw yourself into that so that we can disassociate from reality just a tad. This is a great time to renew ourselves, refresh ourselves in our emotions, in our mind space, in our physical body, and in our spiritual path as well. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Mars in a very awkward way, and then bumps into Chiron in a very awkward way. Well, what is this telling us? First of all, it's telling us that we may be suffering a little bit of frustration, a little bit of aggravation, if you will, because that Mars energy just wants to push us forward, wants us to take action, wants us to initiate on a new path, a new decision, a new goal, a new dream. And again, the moon in Taurus doesn't want to think about the future right now. We just want to find comfortability in the here and now. We just want to break. We just want downtime. We don't want to push. We don't want to be inspired. We don't want to be motivated. We don't want to be determined. We just want to find comfortability here and now. And then bumping into Chiron, this is illuminating our fear, our doubts, our insecurities. Now we're realizing the lack of motivation. We're realizing our disillusionment. We're realizing that we don't know what our goals are and what to focus on. And this can become very overwhelming. The sun goes ahead, gets into the boxing ring, and squares off with the true node, our soul path, our destiny point, shining a bright light on the steps that we have to take to get to where it is that we're going. Problem is we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going. We're starting to see the little tiny bits of clarity show us the path that we will be walking. But for the most part, we're taking a step forward and we're like, geez, is this the right place? Am I in the right spot? And we're looking behind us and we're like, anybody want to give me a hand here? Any angel numbers? Any synchronicities? We getting any signs? Am I on the right path? What am I doing here? It creates a lot of confusion. It creates a lot of uncertainty. It creates a lot of instability in our energy. The moon is going to help us out by trining, which is a beautiful energy, with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is in Capricorn energy. We have Taurus energy, Capricorn energy, Earth on Earth. Here's the beautiful thing. The moon is our heart space. Mercury is our head space. Our heart and our head are getting on the same page. What are they getting on the same page about? Well, they're getting on the same page about putting the blinders on and just focusing in on what it is that we have to do right now, what we have control over right now, what's on our to-do list right now, right? Earth energy, being very present in the physical body, present in our physical circumstances, focused on what we have to do right now. Now, granted, Mercury is in Capricorn, so we are starting to formulate what it is that we need to do long term. But emotionally speaking, this Taurus energy is just like, you know what, we'll deal, that's a problem for future me. Right now, I just want to feel safe. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel secure. I want to feel certain. And right now, we have our heart and our head supporting us of staying very present in the here and now. The moon goes ahead, makes a positive aspect with Venus. Venus rules over Taurus energy, so we're having an intense interaction with the ruler of the moon's energy right now. Venus, fresh into this Pisces energy, very dreamy, very imaginative, feeling all the feels, in love with love. Yes, it can be a little bit depressive when we tap into the shadow realm elements of this. If you need to go ahead, take a listen to the astro forecast to remind you the good, the bad, the ugly of Venus being in Pisces energy. Please go ahead and do so. But the moon interacting with Venus in this way, we're nurturing ourselves. We know what we want, need, and desire. What we want, need, and desire right now is safety, security, comfortability, stability. We want to feel good. We want to feel happy. We want a sense of joy. We want a sense of pleasure. We want all of that right now. We are tired of thinking about what it is that we have to do to gain those particular qualities and characteristics in a futuristic sense. We're grasping at straws right now to do what we can to feel safe and secure, to feel nourished and nurtured, to feel good right now. The last aspect that we have here today, the moon is going to bump into, sit next to, team up with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who just went direct on the 22nd. So this is going to be a major breakthrough in our emotions. This is going to be a shift in our perspective. This is going to be a little bit of a jolt of energy in order for us to realize where it is that we're currently at and where it is that we desire to be. This is the point in this Taurus energy where we are starting to contemplate, okay, all right, I get it. I have to think a little bit more than just this present moment. This Uranian energy is illuminating to us where it is that we have to make some changes. We don't have to make them right now, but we have to start thinking about them. And a lot of these changes are what it is that Uranus has illuminated us to over the past 4.5 months of his retrograde on what it is that we're too attached to, what it is that we're too stuck up on, what it is that we're afraid of losing. Again, may I remind you that we're all hoping, we're all praying for change, for new direction, for a new reality, not realizing that you're the problem. You're the one holding it up. The limitations that you've put in your mind space, in your emotions, in your ability to actually take control of your life is what is blocking you from having those changes and transformations take place. This Uranian energy zaps us, totally shifts our perspective. And this can be a good thing because it creates spontaneous change. It makes us more easily adaptable to the changes and transformations that we know that we have to make.